Ember 2 has been out for a while, but I still get quite a few questions about what to do with controllers. What is their role in Ember 2? Are controllers dead, like some people have said? Well, they're not dead yet. They're only mostly dead. In this episode, we're going to go over 4 different things that controllers did in Ember 1.x and talk about how those things are accomplished in Ember 2.x. The first of these is rendering partials with state. So in Ember 1.x, you would render something, and this would be a controller, and you'd feed in a model. In Ember 2.x, that functionality has been replaced with components, and the components are much more flexible because you can feed in basically not just the model, but several other attributes as well. Then there's the state in each loops. In Ember 1.x, we had the item controller. So in an each loop, you specify the item controller name, and then you can add properties to the things you're looping through, things that wouldn't necessarily fit on a model. In Ember 2.x, then we can just put a component within that loop, and so we don't have to have a separate item controller. And we could have had a block component here as well. Then there's global state. So in Ember 1.x, we would create a controller to hold our state, and then we would use needs, or previously controller for, and then we would call controllers.controllerName, and then we could get to the actual state that we were looking for. In Ember 2.x, that functionality, as well as several others, are taken care of by services. And you do that by injecting the service, and then you can just call the service as if it's on the controller. No need to prefix it with services.something. Finally, there's actions and state for a route. In Ember 1.x, we would have our actions and our state on the controller. In Ember 2.x, we do the exact same thing. In the future, we'll have routable components, which will finally put the nail in the coffin for controllers, but those aren't here yet. So we went over 4 different uses of controllers in Ember 1.x, only one of which still requires a controller in Ember 2.x. So if you're still using controllers for storing actions and state on a route, that's fine. Don't worry about it. If you're still using controllers for the other ones, it's time to upgrade to Ember 2.